All right, Art One, we're going to work on these magazine drawings. So the first thing that you'll need to do is get out your two pieces of paper. You should have two white pieces of paper and a magazine picture that you've chosen to use. You'll also have this direction paper, and that explains what I'm going to do here. So this will kind of be for you to check back to if you forget what you're doing or you miss this intro. So the first thing that you need to know is you're going to be using your magazine picture for two different drawings. And we're going to be tearing this into four different sections to create one drawing that has value. So it's going to be drawn with just pencil and different shades of gray. And then the second drawing, you're going to use colored pencil to fill in the sections that are missing. So we're going to use this one picture for two different things. So the first thing that you need to do on each of your papers, and I want you to do this along with me so you have this done and everybody knows what to do. You're going to line your picture up on your first piece of paper, and I want you to mark off where the corners of that is. Kind of organize it, lay it out so that it's an even border around. Now you just mark off these corners. And you'll notice on the paper, the picture that I'm using, this edge is very unevenly torn, which is fine. I'm just going to mark off where that edge is of the paper that I've got. So from there, you're going to take that off and move it over to your second piece of paper and do the same thing. So again, you're lining it up neatly so that you've got a nice even border, and mark off your corners. And you can see as I'm doing, I'm making like a little L shape that shows where that corner falls. So now I have this border drawn between, or on my paper to show those edges. It would be a good idea if you'd like. You don't necessarily have to do this step, but if you'd want to take a ruler and lightly draw in a line from your corner to corner, that can help you a little bit more later on when you go to be adding the drawings. And you know that the one edge isn't going to be as straight as the others because it was torn when it came out of the magazine. So you can line these up and mark them in with a ruler, and that will help you just keep things even later on. I think it's probably a good idea, at least on the sides that are straight. So the top, bottom, and the one side of the magazine that are straight. Some of them may have torn more straight than others. Once you have that finished, we're going to tear our magazine. So, to do that, you're going to take your paper, and again, I want everybody to do this with me so that you have the right idea. You're going to take it and we're going to tear it halfway. So I don't want you to fold it. We're not going to make this perfect. I just want you to take it and just tear across. It does not need to be straight. Actually, sometimes the more uneven the tear is, the more interesting it's going to look. If you tear it and it goes like crazy and they're not even, that's okay too. We're just trying to get four different sections of your picture, and it doesn't really matter exactly how big they are. So once you've torn it in half, you're going to tear it in half again. Again, we're going across, so it's like a strip, and then on the top half, you do the same thing. So notice mine are not straight at all. They are, this one's pretty curved. But once you have all of them torn, you're going to put them back together on one of your papers using your corners as a guide that you just drew in. So lay it all back down here, connecting it together, fitting it within that border. Once you do that, you want to mark off where these tears are on your picture, and that's going to help you when you go to attach this. So I'm going to make a mark right here where those two come together. I'm going to make a mark down here and right here. I would probably mark both sides, especially because in this middle part, it's not necessarily going to lay completely, or you're not going to have something to compare to on this side. So I'd make a little mark on those, where those edges are. Then you can move it to the other piece of paper and do the same thing. Okay, so take them off now. And we've got our sections on our paper figured out. So to get ready to now use these, you're going to lay the top one on one of your papers. Then you're going to skip the next section. So that section is going to go over here. And you're going to line it up between those two marks that we just made. So that's how I know where I'm going to attach that. Then this paper is going to come back over here, line up with those marks, and that's how I know where to attach that one. And then my fourth section goes back over here. So you can see on this handout that you have, it shows that one of them has a magazine in sections 1 and 3, and the other one has a magazine in sections 2 and 4. So once you have those, you're going to use a glue stick and glue those down. When you do this, try not to get any extra glue on your paper. Just put the glue on the back of your magazine. The reason for that is if you get a bunch of glue on your paper, it might be difficult to get colored pencil to stick to that area, or for the pencil to do some accurate values, because that sticky, that glue stuff on there is going to kind of screw with that. So go ahead and you'll glue these down, and then you're going to be looking at both of them at the same time to draw in whatever objects are in there. So in this space, I'm going to be drawing this area of the picture. So you're going to look at, connecting the different parts of the bodies and the different areas of the background together and drawing in those details. So your first step is to draw. Just use a pencil and try to lightly draw. As you know, we don't want to have big indentations in the paper, and we don't want to have lines that we can't erase, because that messes with your craftsmanship and you won't be able to use the colored pencil as well on it later on. So once you have these on, go ahead and start drawing them both. Eventually you'll add value to one and color to the other. It does not matter which one you do, just pick one or the other. So once things are drawn in, you can start adding value, and then next week we'll look at adding color.